I'm also gonna do one more number. I'm gonna get the total, so down the column. This is how many happened in that year, how many in this year. I want to average how many happens in all the different years. For that, I'm gonna go all the way down here, and I'm gonna say equals average, open parentheses, and then I want to grab this number and all the way up. So I want to grab all the numbers. Okay. And close parentheses, enter. Okay, so this number right now, this 622.9, that is in, see down here the 266, that is in N266. And so let's keep that in mind. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make just a little 2x2 area of some numbers so that I can make a nice little simple plot in just a second. So I say go to R3, so let me get down here to R3 and type in the first year, 1749, and then go down in R4 and type 2011. Okay. Now I want that previously calculated number that was the total average for every year that I had way at the bottom of the page. One way that I could easily link to that is I could just say equals and then 266. Remember, that was the cell that was in. I want to put that number again, equals in 266. Again, I'm going to need that for a quick little plot that I want to do. Okay, that finishes up section 4. Now in section 5, it says graph the data. The first thing I want to graph is I want to graph for the year, I want to graph the total annual sunspots. So I clicked up here, not on these individual ones, but I clicked the entire column by highlighting the A. I'm going to hold down the command key. I think it's control for a PC. And I'm going to go over and also click on in. Now I'm going to insert a chart. I'm going to have it be a scatter plot. Let's use the marks with no lines. So here's my chart. I don't really want it sitting right here. I'd rather it be big and easy to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if I click on the white space over here, I've highlighted the chart. That was a left click. Now I'm going to right click to pull up a menu. I want to move the chart to its own sheet and press OK. And now here it is. I say make sure that the x-axis looks okay, and it actually has years. If you come down here, this is not correctly showing my years. It's confused right now. I'm going to go back to the sheet. It is actually using the row number for my plot, and the reason why it's doing this is because sometimes it gets confused when it sees text and numbers in the same column. So I can really easily fix this though. I'm going to go over again to the white space, click left, and then I'm going to right click to get my menu. I'm going to go to select data. Here are my X values. It's reading off the sheet from A1 to A266. I'll just have it start from the actual first number, not the text, the title Zurich that was messing it up. So I click that to A3 instead. You can see A3 is right there, and then I press OK. Now it understands. Now it knows what I want it to do. All right, so now I'm going to left click in the white space again. It happened to have already been highlighted. I'm going to go over here to chart layout. So this is where I'm going to be able to put on my titles and stuff like that. I'm going to click on the chart title. Let's do a title above the chart. And we're going to click in here and I'm going to call it Total Annual Sunspots. Okay, now let's put in some titles on the axes. So I'm going to click this off here. Oops, I guess I need to go back to that. All right, axes titles. We'll do the horizontal first. Let's put it below. What's it going to read? How about just year? Okay, let's do a vertical one, rotated. And I'll have this be number of sunspots. So I clicked off and I kind of lost that menu. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and click on each of these titles and I'm going to make them bigger. So make sure you make your graphs nice and readable for me. So I'm moving these up to 16-point font. And now I want to add a new series. To do that, again, highlight the graph, clicking in the white space, right click, go to select data, and you come down here and I can add a series. So I'm going to do that. Now it says, well, where's the information going to be? My X values I'll put in. So what you do is you just go to the right to this little symbol over here and you click that, and it's asking you to highlight the values right now. So I go to my sheet. Turns out the values I want to be my X values are these two. So the 2 years there. So, and then I click that button. Now I come over and I put in my Y value. So I'll click this, highlight those. Remember that was my average, and I'll click that. Now let's put in a name for this so that we can keep track of it. I ask you to just call it average annual sunspots. We'll hit OK. Actually, I don't want to hit OK yet. Let's go to series 1, and we will new title to this. This is going to be total annual sunspots. Okay. And now I'll click OK. Okay, let's add a trend line. This is not the type of graph we would normally add a trend line on, but I really just want you to see the exercise of adding one. So let's come in and click any point on the data here. You can kind of see it's selecting a little bit within here. And then I can right click on this stuff, and that's going to be my options here. And I'm going to say add a trend line. We're going to add a linear one. Let's go into options. Let's display the equation on the chart. Let's display the R-squared value. Press OK. Move that so that somebody could actually read it. And just as a visual though, remember this was my average sunspot. So I'm going to click on this set of data. I'm going to right click it, format data series. Let's add a line. So just pick any sort of color in here. It was kind of an orangish. Let's make it orange again here. I'll press OK. So now this vertical line is something that I'll ask you to make things like that throughout the year. This is just a visual. Anything above that is above average. Anything below that is below average. Last thing I want you to do, because at first glance you look at this and you say there is absolutely no trends in annual sunspots, and that's actually not true. So what I want you to do is I want you to go in back to these little blue guys. I left clicked. Now I'm going to right click. Let's format the data series. Let's go in here with the line, pick a color. I don't really care what color you pick. I'll pick something that's kind of gray here. So that's going to put gray lines up, and then go to that marker style, and let's just turn off the markers for a second and press OK. Oh, I did marker line before. I need lines. Excuse me. So go turn a color of the lines on. So here we go. All right, and when you look at this closer, you see it goes up then down, up then down, up then down. And it turns out there is actually a trend in sunspots. Every 11 years, you get a spike in peak intensity in sunspots, which we can certainly talk more about in class. But hopefully that's helpful to some people. Let you maybe look through that if you were having some technical issues or so. But if you think you got it, let your computer know.